We're doing a deep dive investigation on today's 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. Appreciate all of you for riding along with us. Hope you're all having a great week out there. The big mystery that we want to discuss on the program today is that there's all this buzz that's come out over the last couple of weeks that there is a chance and a glimmer of hope that Trey Lance could return at some point this season. Now, this storyline made even crazier this week because Jimmy Garoppolo originally was reported to have a broken foot, possible a Liz Frank injury. Then on Tuesday, Adam Schefter reported it is not going to require surgery, and he could return at some point this season. So wouldn't it just be wild, and wouldn't it be a crazy storyline if both Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo came back this year? I do think it's a little bit fishy that Jimmy G might be able to come back and Trey Lance can't come back. But let's dive into all of this here on the San Francisco 49ers Report because there's so much that we have to get to. First, let's lay the foundation here and get to the background on Trey and just get you caught up and give you a timeline reminder. Trey suffered that fractured ankle in that Week 2 victory over the Seattle Seahawks. Early in that game, Jimmy G comes in to relieve him and ends up playing really well. The surgeon out there that we're going to get to in terms of his quote said that Trey Lance could return because of that injury and the history of it in 10 to 12 weeks. But Kyle Shanahan has been very firm. Anytime that he's been asked about Lance coming back, that Lance will not come back in 2022. But if the Garoppolo injury ends up being serious and the recovery timeline is slowed and he doesn't get ahead of the ball, could Trey Lance, if he is in fact healthy, come back? Here's what that doctor had to say about that injury and Lance maybe coming back here in 2022. There could be a lot of non-medical factors that are playing a part in shutting him down. So that's what we don't know, protecting their investment in the future. But usually the injury is about 10 to 12 weeks. The ligament damage, Dr. Kenneth Jung said, was probably caused by a dislocation with bones shifting out of joint. The torn ligaments are likely in the syndesmosis, the complex ligaments involved in high ankle sprains. The good news is that it was not a compound fracture that Dak Prescott injured, even though both of those injuries looked the same, where those ankles just started pointing in a different direction. Here's where things start to get pretty fascinating, though. Over the last couple of weeks, we have seen Trey Lance spotted on the sideline. This is him a couple of weeks ago at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, pregame. Before the game against the New Orleans Saints, there have been videos of him doing rehab on his ankle, and it looks as though he's moving well. But moving well, rehabbing well, is completely different than dropping back in the pocket, putting pressure on that ankle, trying to deliver throws, and of course having to pick up first downs with your legs if the pocket breaks down. This picture, as recent as this past Sunday, that's Lance on the sideline communicating with Brock Purdy with the tablets, trying to help him figure out what the Dolphins are doing offensively and how the Niners could be better defensively, and how the Niners could be better offensively. So that's where that's where this conversation progresses and becomes pretty interesting. And I do want to give you some hope and some positivity that Lance, despite him struggling so far up to this point in his NFL career, even though he's only started 4 games, he can turn it around, and he can live up to that large investment of giving up 3 first-round picks and the Niners selecting him number 3 in the 2021 NFL Draft. First 102 passes for both of these players, Josh Allen as well as Trey Lance. They are similar. We've seen Josh Allen emerge into an MVP candidate, a Super Bowl caliber winning quarterback, a guy who is a freak and an alien at that quarterback spot. And Lance has a lot of those same physical gifts. He just has to prove that he could be a more consistent and accurate passer. Josh Allen coming out of Wyoming, was not accurate. And Trey Lance hasn't really been accurate so far in his NFL career. Josh Allen, first 102 passes, 56 of 102, completed less than 55% of his passes, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks, 797 yards, and a rating of 84.5. Lance, on the other hand, completed 53% of his passes, so just shy of Josh Allen's mark. 2 touchdowns, 4 picks, 666 yards, but when he's been in, and the quarterback rating at 66.7, we see the mobility, we see the arm strength. The problem with Lance, he started 4 games in the NFL, and going back to 2019, his time at North Dakota State, 21 starts in total. Josh Allen has gotten reps. He's had starts. He's had game experience. A guy like Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts, they've gotten those reps as well. Unfortunately for Lance, because of Jimmy Garoppolo last year and injury this year, hasn't been able to have those same ample opportunities. Now I want you to look ahead, project forward, look into your crystal balls, and predict who the Niners quarterback will be in 2023. Will it be Lance? Will it be Brock Purdy? Will it be Jimmy G? Another option. A guy like Tom Brady. Have some fun with this right now in the comment section. The 49ers Report is presented by Rocket Money. You can start canceling unnecessary subscriptions and saving money today by heading to rocketmoney.com/Niners. But if you download the app, make sure you use the link down below so that they know that ChatSport sent you. This app has been an absolute game changer for me. Are you wasting money on subscriptions? A lot of you probably are. Why? Because according to data, 80% of people have subscriptions that they forget about. Maybe for you, it's an unused Amazon Prime account or a Hulu account that never gets streamed. There's this great app that I use, and it helps me track all of my expenses and stay organized as I'm a busy man here at Chat Sports cooking up these heater of videos every single day. And because of it, I no longer waste money on subscriptions that I don't even use. You might have heard of it. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. The app shows all of your subscriptions in one single place, and then it cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't even know that you were paying for. You may even find out that you've been double charged for a subscription. And to cancel a subscription, all you have to do, press the cancel button, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Head to rocketmoney.com/49ers. Download the app for free, view all of your subscriptions on one screen, stay on top of upcoming bills, and let them cancel unwanted subscriptions for you. We'll put that link in the comment section and the description of this video. Now let's start taking some of your questions here on the show. One of our loyal subscribers and viewers, my boy, General Manager Evan, thank you for the fan mail, my guy. McCaffrey, comeback player of the year. You know what, Evan? I had never thought about that, but that's why you're one of our more loyal watchers. Christian McCaffrey played 16 total games the last 2 years, and this year he's been great. And for San Francisco, he's been averaging, like 150 all-purpose yards per game since making that debut appearance against the Kansas City Chiefs. He's played, 5-6 games with San Francisco, and he's been awesome for this offense. As a guy who bails the offense out as a check down, Charlie, or as a runner, but also he's run a lot of those routes out of the slot as well. The Real GOAT chiming in with the $2 donation. The Real GOAT. I like that. Shout out to the Real GOAT. I got him right here. Joe Montana, as evidenced by the biopic. Rams got back a miniature Goff. You're talking about them claiming Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is probably more physically talented than Jared Goff. I like Goff's stature a little bit better. I like his persona. I like his attitude. I like him being a leader much better than Baker Mayfield. Arm talent, probably side with Baker. Who would I rather have as my quarterback? Sad to say, probably Jared Goff. Liquid Monkey, I hope Brock Purdy gets his shot. He looked real good as the next man up. Let's see if he gets better with first-team practices. And Liquid Monkey, good point, valid point there. Brock Purdy has not had a lot of opportunities getting reps with the first-string offense. And that's why I was so impressed with my takeaways from Purdy against Miami. Guy was cold, comes in off the bench, and he looked prepared. He looked ready to play. It looked as though he was a seasoned veteran out there. He was able to identify pre-snap defensive coverages. On that 3rd and 10 completion to George Kittle, I talked about it earlier this week, able to identify that the blitz was coming, 8 guys in the box, and had to have Kittle cut his route off sooner because he knew that the blitz was going to get to him and he had to deliver the football earlier. That's veteran-laden type of stuff. That also comes with having a lot of experience at Iowa State, and that's what Brock Purdy had at the college football level. And I think that's why Kyle Shanahan really liked him, and that's why John Lynch and co. drafted him with Mr. Irrelevant. Rudy G43RG, bring in Gardner Minshew. He's the backup quarterback for the Eagles. And the Eagles, yes, Jalen Hurts is probably the front runner, in my opinion, for NFL MVP with how well he's playing and the impact he's had on that team. But if Jalen Hurts were to go down, they need Gardner Minshew. They are not going to cut him loose in order for Minshew to head to waivers, with where the Niners are at in the waiver claim process, he probably wouldn't fall to them because he's a coveted quarterback out there. It's just not going to happen. Joe Squared, what do you think about signing Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick, or Fitzpatrick as a backup quarterback? Did you mean to spell him that way? Colin Kaepernick? That's pretty funny right there. Cam Newton, he can't throw the football. He's so inaccurate, and that's really been the case for him throughout his NFL career, and that is a staple of what Kyle Shanahan wants to see. Accuracy. And I think that's why they're not completely sold on Trey Lance. You have to be consistently accurate in this offense because it's predicated on your weapons picking up yards after the catch, getting the ball out quickly to open up space and get those blockers downfield. Fitzpatrick still complains about this hip issue, so I don't think that's going to happen either. And Colin Kaepernick, he hasn't played in far too long for him to actually come back and have an impact on a team. Justin, $5 donation. My man, I appreciate that. With the emergence of Christian Watson in Green Bay, should we be reassessing Trey's ability? Well, what does Christian Watson have to do with Trey's ability? I mean, Christian Watson, wide receiver, Trey Lance, a quarterback. Are you talking about Trey Lance's ability and the fact that he brings a different element to the offense and throwing the ball downfield? I talked about that a lot. Going into the year, I had thought that this Niners offense would be more explosive, less predictable, but maybe less consistent because Trey Lance has that home run ability that Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't. But he sometimes lacks that consistency aspect to his game that Jimmy Garoppolo has, and that's why a lot of people like Brock Purdy, because the offense seems to move a little bit more consistently throughout 60-minute football games. So what do you think? Who will be the Niners quarterback the rest of the way? Will it be Brock Purdy? Will it be somebody else? Let us know in the comment section. BP for Brock, O for other. We always appreciate your football analysis in the comment section.